Hi, I'm Jo from J.H.Leather, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to create this simple long bifold wallet. Now if you're looking to make one of these for yourself, you can pick up a copy of the PDF pattern pack, the acrylic templates and even a DIY kit version of this over on my website jhleather.co.uk, or you can head to the links in the descriptions. Let's get started. So both the PDF and the acrylic version come with 3 different pocket types. So once you've picked the type of pocket that you want, or a combination of them, you can then transfer your patterns onto your leather. Now if you've got the PDF pack, I highly recommend reinforcing them first with some card so they're more durable. And then, like I said, you can transfer them onto your chosen leather, and the link for that is in the description. Once you have your patterns drawn onto your chosen leather, what I like to do is actually rough cut them first so they're a more manageable size, and then I can more accurately cut them out. And once you've got everything cut out, what we're going to do is use an edge tool on our pockets and on the opening side of them only, on both the grain and the flesh sides. Once we've finished edging our pockets, what we can do is apply some stain to them. And so we're just going to stain on that top opening edge, and then on the T-slots we're also going to put a little bit of stain under that T-section. And we can then polish the edge. And what I like to do is also add some Talcanol at this point, because once these have been stitched into our wallet, the edges are going to be hard to get to. So it's good to get a nice finish on them now. Now, if you'd like to, at this point, you can add a crease line to your pockets. And again, that's just going to be on that open edge. Now, the one I'm using is 1.5mm wide. We are now going to add our stitch line to the bottoms of our T-slots, as it's easier to do that now than once it's skived. Once we've done that, we can mark the skive area onto the flesh side of both of those T-slots, and that's marked with the line around the edge of our acrylic template or the yellow area on the PDF pattern. Now you're going to want to have a nice sharp knife for this, and what we're going to do is just skive that area. So like I said, this is just going to make our pocket a little less bulky once our wallet is together. And it's going to make it so the cards slide in more easily, because there's not going to be as much bulk there. And like I said, you can skive more than that marked area. That is just the minimum amount needed to get the bulk reduced from these pockets. Now, if you're still really new to leatherwork and you aren't that confident with your skiving, what you can do is actually use a wide edge tool. And you can just follow the lines across your bottom of your pocket, move your edge tool further and further back, skiving that area. Now, like I said, this is a good method for if you are new to skiving, as it is a lot easier to do than with a knife. And you do still get very similar results. You'll just have to go over it repeatedly, and you're probably going to have to sharpen your edge tool because skiving really does blunten these tools. Once you've done your skiving, we can now get ready to attach our T-slots into our pocket backings. So what we're going to do is draw that line on where the bottom of the T-slot is going to go. And what we can then do is follow that line with a roughing tool, and that's just going to help our glue stick a bit better because it's got a more rough surface that it can adhere to. You can also place your T-slot onto your pocket backing and mark where the top of that is going to be, and you can also rough that edge up. Once you're happy, we can then apply some glue to both the pocket backing and onto the T-slot itself. And then once the glue has gone tacky, you can then stick that T-slot in place. And we're going to do this with both pieces. And once that's glued in, what we can do is follow that stitch line that we marked on earlier with our chosen stitch marker and stitch mark all the way along. Now, as this area of our wallet is going to be quite thin, you can stitch mark all the way through quite easily with this. Now, I'm using a 3.38mm iron, but you can choose whatever size stitching iron that you prefer. Now, because my stitching iron is quite small, what I'm going to do is saddle stitch every other hole because we're not going to see this. And once we've done stitching, we can then use a hammer and just flatten those stitches. And that again is going to help the card slide in and out of the pocket easier. We can then apply some more glue to our pocket backing and the flesh side of our front pocket. And then again, once they are tacky, we can then stick the two pieces together. Now with our pocket backing template, we can mark on our stitch line that's going to go down the centre of the stitch marks. And what I do is mark on those 2 points, and then using a ruler, I'm going to join the 2 dots together. Now, unfortunately, I had a camera mishap and didn't actually film the stitch marking of this part of the wallet. But what we're going to do is have our stitch mark in the centre of that line and start with one tooth over the edge of the top pocket and work down towards the bottom of that line. Now, as this bit is going to be a bit thicker, it may be that your stitch marks don't go all the way through, which is absolutely fine. So I have not gone all the way through with my stitch marker here on this part of the wallet, so I'm going to be using my awl to create the holes. And again, we are going to be using the saddle stitch method, and I'm going to start with 2 back stitches and then finish with 1.5 back stitches so that both ends match. Once you have finished your stitching, you can then tap the stitches flat with a hammer. And we can now start to prepare our outer wallet. So what we're going to do is mark on that stitch line if we haven't already. And once you have them marked on, you can set your divider to the appropriate size and draw your stitch line between those points. Now, the reason we're doing this now is because it's a lot easier to do this than when the pockets have been glued into the outer part of the wallet. Using your pattern once again, you can then flip your leather over onto the flesh side, and then we're going to mark where those stitch points are on the inside so we know where to glue to. And you can just use your awl to transfer those dots. Now we've done that, we can apply our glue to both the inside of our wallet as well as to the backs of our pockets. And once tacky, we can assemble the wallet together. And we want to make sure our edges are as flush as possible. Now, like I said, there is a trim line on this, but we still want to get our edges nice and even if we can. And once we've done that, we can do our stitch marking. Now, because this is going to be quite thick, I am not going to be stitch marking all the way through, and I'm going to be using an awl to create the holes. Now, if you want, you can stitch mark this all the way through. However, you do have to ensure that your stitch mark is very upright so that the stitch holes come out in the right area on the inside of your wallet and are not too close to the edge or too far in from the edge on your wallet. Now, if you are going to be using an awl and you are a bit nervous about getting your stitch line straight, what you can do is on the inside of your wallet, you can use your dividers to draw where that stitch line should be, and then you have a guideline that you can aim for when you are awling each of the holes. And once you're ready, we can now saddle stitch the rest of our wallet. Again, I am starting with 2 back stitches, and then I will finish with 1.5 back stitches so both of the sides match. When you're doing your back stitches, you want your stitches to sit so that they are next to each other rather than one on top of the other, because that looks a lot nicer, but it also means that your stitches aren't going to rub because they're protruding higher than the other ones. And once you have done stitching, what you can do is once again grab your hammer and tap the stitches nice and flat. And then using your dividers, you can mark on the trim line all the way around the outer edge of your wallet. Once you have that marked on, you can then set about trimming your wallet down to the correct size. Now, if you're using a rotary knife that I am here, what you can do is actually do this in several strokes rather than trying to go through the whole thickness in one, which may cause your ruler to wobble. Once you've cut the outer edges, you can then go around the corners. And if you are new to leatherworking, then doing the sort of nibble method, as I am here, is going to be the easiest way to get this corner nice and round. However, if you have a corner punch, you can also use that. To help get our corners nice and smooth, what we can then do is use some sandpaper and just go around those corners, making them as nice and as smooth as possible. We can then edge all the way around both the outside and the inside of our wallet on those newly cut edges. And once we've done our edging, we can then apply some stain to these. And then rub that in with our polishing cloth or wood slicker. We can also add our Tulcanol or burnishing gum at this point to get a nice, shiny, smooth edge. Once we have done that, we can then heat up our creasing iron and do our crease around the inside and outside of our wallet. Now, this crease line is optional, and if you don't have a crease line or you don't want to add one, then that is absolutely fine. Now, the final thing that we're going to do is with a bone folder, we're going to work that inside each of the pockets to get rid of any excess glue. Now, when it comes to putting your cards in, again, you might have an issue with some glue. So have your bone folder handy whilst you put your dummy cards into your wallet. And this is just going to ensure that they fit nicely in each of the pockets. And so that is how to create this simple long leather bifold wallet. So thank you very much for watching this video. Now, if you liked it and learned something new, please give it a thumbs up to let YouTube know and help share this with more leather crafters. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video.